Hey everyone, and welcome to the second video on keeping your life simple. Today I want to cover a simple topic, one that really applies to every aspect of everyday life, but I actually wasn't made aware of this concept until about a couple months ago actually. And that's the concept of being interested rather than interesting. What do I mean by that? The best way I can explain it is like a first date. If you're with someone, having dinner, having coffee, whatever the situation is where you're having just a pretty personal conversation, if the other person is talking the entire time, they're not asking you what you feel about subjects, they're not really taking the time to learn more about you, and the conversation seems very one-sided, unless you're in there for ulterior motives, you probably won't pursue a second date with that person. That's because they didn't let you feel valued. So this is a concept that applies both personally and professionally, so I want to break the video down into those kind of two parts. From a day-to-day personal basis, this allows you to start new relationships off on a better foot and take existing relationships to a new level. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but that's really the only thing I could think of how to explain that. How do you go about applying this in a first meeting with someone that you feel like you might want to be friends with, or decide if you even want to be friends with? I would say start off seeing how far you can go into the conversation by only asking them questions. Now that means you have to ask pretty open-ended questions that they just can't say yes or no to, but that doesn't mean you can't just ask yes or no questions as well. I want to bet that if you leave the conversation and you feel good about it, and the other person doesn't feel like they just got interrogated by the FBI, I'll bet that relationship will start off on a better foot than previous ones, and you can even compare that to other ones and see if that is true. And I will argue that relationship will build to a better place and with fewer interactions. With existing friends, you can strike up a conversation with them randomly on a random subject. Do the same thing, and then compare how conversations in the past with that friend have felt and have left off. And if you notice a difference and you notice that you feel like you learned more and the other person feels like you're closer, you can kind of start to see the value in this. From a professional standpoint, it's a very standard rule, the 20-80 or the 80-20 rule, however you want to say it. And that is you talk 20% of the time, the other person talks 80% of the time. This allows you to, one, arm yourself with more valuable knowledge before you speak again, so you can leverage the conversation more of your favor and kind of control the direction of it better. Two, if you're meeting someone for the first time from a business relationship, whether it's a prospect that you're trying to sell to or a client you're trying to provide a service for, you'll notice that you can get, like I said, more information from them, but that relationship may start off on a faster pace. And you may be in that conversation for longer or shorter and sell faster. It just allows you to get that more in-depth information. And for long-term clients doing this for the first time, it may give them the impression that you are now, for the first time, starting to care more about that relationship and aren't just trying to shove a product in their face. Or it will just allow you to get more information and kind of start to go around that compass path in terms of who do you know. Now, obviously, with this, you want to be human. I'm not saying go in and be robotic and say, oh, crap, I can only ask questions, or think you're talking too much, right? You have to be human. Sometimes conversations will go 50-50. Sometimes conversations will go 90-10. You have to play it by ear, and that applies to both personal and professional. So be human with it. Try it with people you're meeting for the first time. Try it with existing relationships you have. And just kind of compare those with previous relationships and see how the results change. And if nothing changes, then you may already have a perfect relationship, or you may just need a little bit more practice, because it is very hard to start this off for the first time. So that's all I really wanted to cover today. As always, if you have any topics you want to see covered, leave them in the comments. If you have any suggestions for me, let me know. I plan on covering a wide range of ideas and just ways to add value. So if you have anything seriously you want to see me cover, let me know. I'm still new to this and I'm still growing. So I appreciate your time. Have a wonderful Thursday. Be safe this 4th of July. I can't really say 4th of July weekend. It's on Tuesday. Have a good 4th of July when that comes up. And I'll see you all again next week.